Local leaders in the north of England say the financial help being offered by the government isn't enough to protect their communities from hardship, as parts of the country face tighter COVID-19 rules from next week. At a press conference of Labour mayors, Andy Burnham, who's mayor of Greater Manchester, said many businesses in the north were already on a knife edge. The government is due to announce a tiered system of restrictions on Monday, with areas facing different rules depending on how quickly cases are spreading. Our political correspondent Chris Mason reports.
Eating out in 2020 hasn't been straightforward. Working in hospitality has been incredibly tough. Those employed at this pizzeria in the northern quarter in Manchester are worried.
It's just difficult. I don't know how long it'll be going on for. I don't know how I'll be able to get by on it. Obviously, I've got a lot of money coming out all the time, but not enough coming in. Gas, electric, all of it. And obviously, being at home all the time, it's going to be more rather than me being out of the house at work.
Yesterday, the government said those who work for businesses forced to shut because of new coronavirus restrictions will get 2/3 of their wages paid for by the government. But this afternoon, 4 Labour mayors in the north of England said that wasn't good enough because...
To say to us on a Friday evening that it's non-negotiable that some of our lowest paid workers will be pushed into hardship. It's non-negotiable that they're going to be in debt as they go into Christmas. Well, I'm sorry, but I am not accepting a statement of that kind.
When the state says, you may not go to work, you may not trade, then people should be getting 100% compensation. Being paid 2/3 of your wages, especially if you're on minimum wage, is not acceptable.
The mayors of the Sheffield and Liverpool city regions made a similar argument, and they're not alone. Today, almost 30 Conservative MPs from the north of England have set up a new group to press their case.
The government has to continue to back business until the end of this pandemic, however that may look. Because if we don't do that, frankly, all the money we've spent already has been wasted.
But levels of the virus vary widely. This is Belford in Northumberland, where the proportion of people testing positive is below average for England. But like much of the northeast of England, people here are living under tighter restrictions than many.
What we think we have now is about right. We think it's working. I think to bring in anything more in some areas of the county would be wrong and it wouldn't be adhered to.
Back in Manchester, conversation about the pandemic and any coming restrictions is rarely far away.
There doesn't seem to be any basis for it. We don't know what government's asking us to do. We don't know why it's happening.
It's a bit of a mistake, personally, I think, to close the pubs. I think the people that aren't following the rules are going to continue to not follow the rules.
I think the government, to be honest with you, have done quite enough to help people out, because no matter what people do, it's never good enough.
Questions about health, the economy, accountability and blame are everywhere, and uncertainty stalks the future.
Chris is here with me now. Chris, what's the government saying about these criticisms from local leaders, and do we know anything more about the new restrictions?
So the government says that its priority throughout the crisis has been to protect jobs. They say that they have provided an unprecedented level of support, and they say that it is generous when compared to similar European economies. The key question now, Reeta, is what are these restrictions going to be and where are they going to be imposed? We're getting some sense, for instance, of how it might pan out. So it looks like the rules in Greater Manchester will be a little looser than those on Merseyside. We'll get the details, though, from the Prime Minister when he addresses the Commons on Monday. And there are ongoing calls this weekend between regional leaders and the government trying to reach conclusions. Tonight, interestingly, an opinion poll from Ipsos Mori suggests that people in Britain are strongly in favour of stricter measures where necessary to control the spread of the virus. And when you look back at polling throughout the pandemic, the proportion who are in favour of stricter measures is marginally higher than at any point since May. So this, as governments and us as individuals, continue to wrestle with these painful trade-offs of lives, liberties and livelihoods.
OK, Chris, many thanks.